Email management is what we'll be discussing today, and today is actually going to be about practical, showing you guys the basic things you expected to do on your client's email as soon as you're granted access to the email. Now, one thing about email management is that it's quite easy to do. It's very simple to do. It's not something you should worry yourself about. Now, so before I move into the practical class of how I will be showing you the way your client is all to grant you access to their email without sharing their password with you, because some clients might not even know how to go about that, and they might actually need the assistance of a virtual assistant, but they don't know how to go about adding you up or granting you access to their email without sharing their confidential password with you. So you could also put your clients through, or you yourself, you might be wondering how you can go about pitching yourself to clients. Of course, how can I work with the client? I know how to handle emails, I know how to organize email, I know how to prioritize email, I know how to help them make sure their day-to-day activities or their day-to-day tasks on their email is going smoothly. But then again, will anybody be willing to hire me because they won't want to share their email password with anybody? So this is what I'll be showing you guys today on how to go about that, and how to do some other basic things in your client's email. So now, email management basically involves organizing, prioritizing, and handling email communication efficiently for your clients who you will be working with. As a virtual assistant, this is a crucial skill that helps keep your client's inbox organized and ensuring important emails are addressed promptly and nothing slips through the cracks. That is what matters. And this particular skill is actually very easy to do, like I said earlier, and you should target busy CEOs, busy business owners. Like, these people are out there looking for people who can help them make their life very easy without missing out on anything. So now, the key responsibility as an email organizer, like virtual assistant who wants to help your client manage his or her email, is inbox organization, which is the first thing first to claim, of course, to respond and to do. Those are the basic three things you need to do and repeat over and over again for your foreign client or any client you want to work for virtually as a virtual assistant. So, like I said, inbox organization, sorting and categorizing, using folders and label to sort emails into categories such as urgent, to do, also follow up, and information, important email. You can categorize them. I actually showed you in the practical how you can actually create a label for different clients important email, so you don't mix everything up. Also, filtering spam also is part of your responsibility by setting up filters to automatically move spam and unwanted or unimportant email to a separate folder. Now, part of your responsibility is prioritization. Now, flagging important email, use flags or stars to mark highly priority email that needs immediate attention. Also, creating to-do lists for your clients and converting important emails into tasks and add them to their to-do list, add it to their to-do list. Third thing under your responsibility is response management. Now, drafting responses to show to your clients to get an approval whether you should forward this email to the respected person or not. Never you do all of these things behind them, because despite how busy they are, you need to involve them, you need to hear the final say from them, you need to also get some of the things you will be doing. Different clients differ, so you need to understand the job role and the description that this client wants you to do at a particular time on how to make their life easier. What you actually did for client A might be different from what client B wants you to do, so it all depends on what they want. And this kind of job is something you would even get to learn on the job while doing the job. Another role you need to perform under being a virtual assistant managing your client's email is follow up emails. That's set up reminders to follow up on emails that have not yet received response from the people or the person you're expecting response from. tools that you need as a virtual assistant who will be managing your client's email. We have Gmail, we have Outlook, we have Yahoo Mail. Of course, Gmail is the most popular, and you cannot be using Outlook and want a client who is using Gmail to grant you access. It has to be Gmail to Gmail, Outlook to Outlook, Yahoo to Yahoo. So you need to take note of that. And some management tools you'll be needing are Gmail, of course, Zoom, you'll be needing Slack, so many basic tools that you just download depending on what your client wants you to use as a medium of communication. But the only thing you need is your Gmail and the skill, the right knowledge of what to do and how to go about it. So now, best practice for you: check and organize the inbox at set intervals throughout the day. That is your basic task. Always check your client's email. Of course, there will be an onboarding section between you and your client once you have been hired. And after that, what you need to do is to properly arrange the client's email so it can be easy for you and for your client also. So after doing that, your regular practice should be to regularly check in and organize inbox at set intervals throughout the day. Also, clear communications that are not important and keep email brief and straight to the point by labeling and keeping them into folders, starring some, so you don't jam pack everything together. Also, you need your professionalism. Always maintain a professional tone and check for spellings and grammar errors before sending any email to your clients. And most importantly, you shouldn't send an email on behalf of your client and be using your own tone and style. You need to sound like your client that you're working for, because you're doing it on their behalf. So don't sound like it's you, or don't personalize it to you. You need to sound using their tone and style. That's why before you send any email out, you need to carry your clients along, have or schedule a meeting with them, book an appointment to talk to them, to give them the highlight of the day, to give them the report of the day, and also so they can know what they want to tell you to do. So that is just the basic thing. So let's dive right into the practical. Okay, so welcome to the first practical under the freelance virtual assistant. So we've been talking about a lot of things before we got to this point. So I believe some things shouldn't be new to you guys. So permit me, my camera will be moving sideways because I'm recording with my Samsung phone at the moment. So it's quite big, and I just had to do it this way. So what happened previously to the video I did won't repeat itself again, so just bear with me. So now I'll be showing you in this practical briefly how you can actually manage your client's email. Now, the thing I want you to pay attention to is the fact that you don't necessarily have to have access to their password, or your clients don't necessarily have to give you access to their password, in which they won't even give you something like that because it's quite confidential to them. So some of them might actually need an email manager who should help them manage their account, but because of them not knowing how to go about the sharing of the email to you without you having access to their password, might make them not want to hire a virtual assistant. So in case you see someone maybe during the course of your pitching, you can as well tell them how to go about it. So that is what I will show you first now. So just stay tuned. So what you need to do is when the client gets to their email. So now imagine the screen you're seeing right now on my laptop is actually the client's email. I am the foreign client that wants to hire you as a virtual assistant, or rather I'm your employer that wants to hire you. So you're teaching me how to actually grant you access to my email without me giving you my password. It can happen like that sometimes. So what you need to do is to come here. Once you open your inbox, then you come to this part that says settings. I hope you can see. So you click on this part. So once you click on this part, it's going to bring these options for you. All you need to do is to click on see all settings. So it loads up. Then once it loads up, okay, let me just cancel this. No thanks. Enable desktop. Okay. So now once it loads up, then you can come here. You can come down and check this out. Maximum, okay, I have to be moving the phone. Maximum page size. So that shows the messages that you want to be seeing per pages on your screen. For example, mine is 50. You can decide to make it 100. You can decide to make it 20, 25, but then most people use 50, 100. So let's say you want to use 100, or let's say 50. So now, then what you need to do is to check, come down also and check undo send. Now send cancellation period. Of course, it's advisable that you increase the duration of this undo send, because sometimes you might make mistake while helping your client to send an email. So if their email is already set, if their email setting is already on a particular seconds, and you remember, oh, you were supposed to add something, or you omitted something, and you don't want that email to get to the person that is going to receive the email, then you can easily undo the send. That is if it's not on 5 seconds, because 5 seconds, before you know it, it's over. So you can still increase it to 30 seconds or 20 seconds depending on what you want. So let's just leave it at 20 seconds for now. I hope I'm not too fast. So now you come down here to check other things. If it's active, as you can see, I have a lot of things in check. Spelling suggestion on, in check. Grammar suggestion on, it's also in check. Image, always display external image, it's in check. So autocorrect, it's in check. Smart compose, it's in check. Can you see? Smart compose also, it's in check. So you can just make sure all of this I'm showing you is actually in check. So after doing this, then you come to this part. See, we are on general. You leave label, you leave inbox, then you come to account and import. So you click on account and import. So once you click on account and import, this is where the person you want to work with as the virtual assistant is going to grant you access to their email. So now this is where the pairing that I told you guys I will pairing you guys in two would actually happen, because you will need to use that as like an internship or a practical for you to be able to know that yes, you can actually do this till this point. So now when you come to account and import, then you come down here, you see where it says check mail from other accounts. So that means you could actually check my email from your account. You could actually check my email if I grant you access. So it depends. So what you need to do right now is for your client, I mean to say, I don't want to confuse you, is for your client to add another account. So that means adding this account means that your client wants to allow you to read and send email on their behalf. That is why they are granting you access. So you click on add account. So as you click on add account, it's going to come here and tell your client to input your email. So let's say I'll be using my second email as an example for you guys. So my second email says kjoy624@gmail.com. So let's input this. Then next step. Can you see? Oh, okay. So now, because I've actually done this before with my other account while I was showing someone, so this one won't go. So which other one can I use? That means I have to log in. Okay, let me use my other email, joy@gmail.com. That was my former email. Okay, I hope you can see what I'm typing at gmail.com. So it's because I've granted this access before. That's why it's not showing. That was the first joy@gmail.com. Can you see? Let's see if this one would go. Of course it should. Okay, fine. So this one has gone. So it's saying you're about to grant joy@gmail.com access to your email. You'll be able to revoke this later. In order to complete this process, we need to send joy@gmail.com a confirmation email to accept the access. After accepting access to your email, they will be able to open your account. So let me just pause the video so I can actually log into that account. Okay, so now Joy can access your mail using HTTP only. So that means you cannot, if your client is using Gmail, your account that you give your client to add under grant access should be Gmail. You cannot give your client cannot be using Gmail and you be sending your client Yahoo Mail or Outlook. No, if it's Gmail, it has to be Gmail. If it's Yahoo, it has to be Yahoo. So now let me click on send email to grant access. So a confirmation request has been sent to joy@gmail.com. Once they accept the offer, okay, so that's it. So now it shows here that you have granted access to your account to joy@gmail.com, and this notice will end in 7 days. Now let me show you the one I was talking about briefly before I go to login to okay, I think another thing we can do. Okay, this is okay, yeah. Okay, instead of logging in under my account, let me delete this one. Okay, before I delete it, let me see if my second account would work. There's another one that is open here, Kayode Joy IB, instead of logging in afresh on the other one I used. So let me grant access. Let's see if that one will come up. Grant access to Kayode Joy. That's Kayode Joy IB. Kayode, I hope you can see. Oh, sorry. Please, my phone is big, so it's just not easy to be moving it around. Kayode Joy IB at gmail.com. At gmail.com. Okay, so let's see if this one will go. I have this one logged in on this laptop, so I don't have to start. Okay, good. Okay, let's see. I think it will go. Fine. So this is better instead of having to log in on that joy@gmail.com. So this is faster. So now, as you can see, you have granted access to 2 users. That's the first one is joy@gmail.com. It's not logged in on this laptop. I was about to log in on it, but then it's going to be stressful doing that. So I remember there's another one open here, which is Kayode Joy IB. So now let's go to Kayode Joy IB and refresh. Okay, so no need to refresh. As you can see, the mail came in already. Gmail team, Joy has granted you access to their Gmail account. Accept or deny. So you click on it. So as soon as your client who you want to work with as a virtual assistant to manage their email grants you access, then automatically you get this kind of email. Joy has granted you access to their email. Accept or deny. Hi, Kayode Joy. Now, to accept the request, please click the link below, and to reject it, also click the link below. So we'll be accepting it, so I can show you guys what it will look like. So now, please confirm viewing and sending message on behalf of Joy Kayode. Okay, kjoy624@gmail.com. Click here to return to your Gmail account. Okay, so let's confirm. So I confirmed already. It may take up to 30 minutes for the verification to be complete. Then you can view and send message on their behalf. It is as simple as this. So now let's go and see what is happening in this email. Okay. Okay, we can actually refresh to see what is happening if it has accepted. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. Okay, can you see? So these are the 2 emails I sent granted access to. Joy Kayode@gmail.com did not accept because we did not later use that one since it's not logged in here. Why Kayode Joy IB was granted access and she has accepted. Can you see? Accepted. So that means I've accepted and I have access to manage my client's email, which is my other email. So let's go and check what exactly is happening in that email. Okay, so let's come back here. Okay. Okay, so since they said it would take time, so we're actually waiting to see the results. So let's go back to this profile. As you can see, it's showing Joy K delegated. Can you see? Joy K is delegated. That means the access is there already, and I can access Joy K's email as my client that I am working for, or I'm about to start working for. Now there are process to this. Once you get a job, or once you land yourself a job as a virtual assistant, of course there will be an onboarding session between you and your client via Zoom call or whatever call the client suggests, where you people are going to have to introduce each other to each other, talk. Then the client tells you fully about his or her businesses and what he or she does and how he wants you to do for him. What are his expectations on your side, what your job descriptions are, what he wants you to do for him daily as a virtual assistant. That is what we call onboarding session. Even as a social media strategist and social media manager that I am, I also used to have onboarding sessions with my clients to get to know them, know about their brands. Of course, after running my background check and doing my auditing on their social media account, I'll be able to know what to chip in during our onboarding session and also hear from them. So it's actually like a process, but then it's quite easy to do. Just understand the skill and learn what you have to learn. So as I was saying, now you click on delegated. Once you click on delegated, then it's now going to open your client's email. Can you see what we just did? Now let me go back to what I just did now. Look here, look at this part where I clicked on the profile picture. Can you see it's no longer showing my profile picture, but it's rather showing K, which is the client's account, and a key which shows that it's now delegated. That is what it's showing. So automatically inside my own email, now my own is default. Let me go to my account back so you can see what I'm saying, so you don't mix it up. So now Okay, now see, now this is my own email. I'm doing anything I want to do on my email. I'm done now. Now I want to attend to my client's email. I come here where my profile picture is shown and I click on it and I see different accounts here. Now I click on Joy K. As you can see, a lock and delegated written in front. So I click on it like this. After clicking on it like this, then it pops up my client's email inside my own mail. So that means I have access to my client's email. This is now my client's email that I need to work with. So now don't forget that your job on this email contains a lot. Do you understand? Though they are simple tasks that you need to do for your clients, helping them to organize their email, helping them to label their email, helping them to create a different folder, helping them to respond to their email, helping them to send out email to their contact, helping them to do their follow-up, helping them to check on their appointment bookings, helping them with their calendar management, and so on and so forth. There are so many things that you can actually do in your client's email. So now for this first part one, so I don't want this video to be too long because it's getting longer already. So now when you have access to your client's email, you should help them sort all of these jam-packed messages already. You can see there are so many messages here. There are so many messages here, like, you understand. So you want to help them arrange it. So how do you help them arrange it? You come here, you can see, you see label, you come in front of label, you click the plus sign in front of label. So now you look for example, okay, before I do that, let me check their email. Let's say your clients do receive lots of emails from Canva user. Should I use Canva user? Okay. Let's say Canva, okay, let's use this person. Nadim something. Okay, now so we click here, then we click on, we actually enter the name, which is Nadim or something. Okay, so we click on the person's name. So we click on the person's name, then we click on create. So that means we want to create a separate label so that we can be able to put in all this person's messages in one label, under one label, in one folder, so that the length at which all these jam-packed messages are on the screen like this is going to reduce. Now the reason why we are doing that is because don't forget that you are working for a busy CEO, busy business owners. We're talking about big people abroad, like the likes of Dangote or $10. We're talking about Mike Adenuga. We're talking about people like you understand what I'm saying? So they are always very busy. What makes them a busy CEO is that emails upon emails keep on entering their phone every single minute, and they are always very busy because they have different multi-million businesses that they are involved in. They are always busy traveling here and there, doing one meeting or the other. Do you understand? Different appointments, different Zoom calls, and messages keep entering. In fact, they don't even have time for themselves, and that is why they are bringing on board a virtual assistant. Now in the group, I actually showed you guys a screenshot of a job I found on Upwork that wanted to hire a personal assistant, virtual assistant, and they specifically said it there that this person you want to work for actually is worth about $50 million. So you should know the kind of person you want to work for. You'll be helping the person manage the email, calendar, appointment booking, organizing to-do list, reminder, setting reminder for the person, email organization, email management, and so on and so forth. So those are the kind of people you should target, even when you want to be doing pitching, because pitching is part of what I will be teaching you also, how to pitch to your prospects or your leads that you want them to hire you. You want to help them manage their life and make things easy for them. So now let's say, for example, we have created this person's, okay, so now after creating this person's label or folder, we can now come here to search for the person's name. We come here to search. I hope you can see what I'm doing. We come here to search for the person's name, so we can see how many of this person's email. Can you see? So let's even imagine that this is, okay, this is even a white person. So let's imagine that this is my client, a very important client of mine that will do businesses together, and you have to help me create a label or folder for this person, so that once this person's messages comes in, I won't miss any of this person's messages. It will not mix up with the other random ones, because there are some messages that comes in that are not important. Maybe I was just checking through some website, I I now subscribe, so you need to help me unsubscribe some unimportant messages. So now this kind of person's messages, now as you can see, some are not even open yet. So it could be like that for your clients who are busy and they might miss some important informations or important deals or important calls or anything from their clients. So that is where you come in. So now don't forget that we've created this label down. So what we need to do now is to search in the inbox for the name that contains this person's name that we've created, and you come here, you mark it. Can you see what I'm doing? You mark it. Okay, so you mark all the person's email, so it can be in one folder. After marking it, then you right click. Can you see? You right click, then you're going to see move to. Can you see? So you're going to see move to, then you come up here and see it under the move to, then you click on the person's name. It will now move all of this person's messages from the inbox generally to the label that we've created. Can you see? Now it's moving already. 10 conversation moved to this person's label. Can you see? So automatically it's going to move to the person's label that we have created. Okay, so automatically it's going to move to this person's label that we've created. So how can you verify this? All you need to do is to come down here and click on this person's name, and let's see what pops out. So automatically we have all this person's messages coming to your client under one label, under one folder, under one label, anyone. So now everything is arranged. That is part of the organization you need to put into practice when you are helping your client to manage their email. So now let's do another one. Let's say this particular one, this first one, no comment. Now what we need to do is to click on this plot sign again and enter the name. I hope you can see. Please bear with me. My phone is actually big. Even my hand is spinning already because of the way I'm holding the phone. It can't fit into my ring light because it's a fold. So just bear with me for now. Okay. So make sure you type it correctly if you want it to bring out what you are searching for. So can you see what I did now? So what you need to do is to create the label. And it will come down here. Can you see it has joined this other one that we created? So you now come up to search email. See where I came up to? See, you come up to search email, then you search for that person's name. You search for the person's name and enter. Okay, so after searching, like I said, can you see? So it popped out all the emails I have under this person's under this person's name. As you can see, I opened some, I did not open some, even as far back as 12th of July. So it can be like that for your clients because they are always busy and these messages can enter and hide in between each other. So this is the best way you can help your clients to organize their email. In fact, some of your clients can even tell you the important names that they want you to help them put in place and create a separate folder for, that they cannot just afford to miss any messages that comes in from that person. So all of these are what you and your client will be discussing every day, or maybe I don't know when you guys would be talking. It could be two days or a weekend, or it could be every day for some client who wants to hear their daily report from you, depending on what their business email looks like or how functioning it can be. It depends on the client. Clients are different. Do you understand? So now if you now want to move all of this to this part, then what you need to do is what? Click here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you see? So this is it. So you right click as usual, then you see the option of move to, then you come up here and click here, then automatically it moves it down here. Can you see? It moves it down here. So now let me just refresh the email back so you can check something. So now let's check the first one we did. Click on it, it will pop out all the emails under. Can you see? So we've been able to organize this particular client email. Then click on the second one. Can you see? To pop out every name under this one. So it's always easy that way. So for example, your client tells you, I'm expecting an email from Mr. Jerry, I'm expecting emails from Gift, I'm expecting email from Jberry, I have an appointment with Jberry next tomorrow. Make sure you check the email she's going to send. You can easily just come to your label and search the email that comes in and refresh easily, instead of having to be doing like this. Instead of having to be doing like this, Mr. Jerry, Mr. Jberry. Do you understand? You might make mistake. So in order for you not to make such mistake, all you need to do is to label everything. Now, when I showed you something the other time about the, let me see, about the emails you want to be seeing. Okay, now remember I showed you something here under this general. Yeah, this part that I said maximum page size, that's the front page. You remember I told you that let's leave it at 50. You can put it in 100, 25, but then people use 50, 100. So let me show you where that one is reflecting. Where is the email we're working with right now? Okay, now see it here. Can you see 1 to 50 out of 59 pages? Can you see? So this my email now has about 59 pages, and the first one alone carries only 50. So you can imagine how many pages you need to be checking in order for you not to miss your client's email, an important email that might come in for your clients. So now let me say an important messages came in. For example, let's say this email Erin came in for your client, and this one Google team came in for your client. You could actually just start it here. You can start this one so you don't forget, especially if you have to get back to your client based on the emails that came in, because at some point you need to always reach out to your client so that you people can discuss about the day, your activities, what you did, how you were able to manage it, what were your feedback, what are your suggestions, what you noticed, the messages that came in, the report, and your client also will tell you that you should do this, do that one. Now, never you send a message on behalf of your client without your client approving it. Yes. Now, once you have access to this, you can easily send an email on behalf of your client. You can reply an email on behalf of your client, but that doesn't mean you should now take it into your hands and do it anyhow you want. No, you need to always inform your client that there's a message that came in from Gmail team and this is what it contains. If possible, forward it to them, maybe via chat, or you people are communicating on the live stream. There are many ways you can communicate with your clients, your foreign client that you're working for. So the client will now tell you, okay, you can as well reply the email. This and this and this is what I want you to put into the email. No, make sure you add this thing to the email. Let me see the email before you eventually send it to the client. Don't go and do. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just it. Now this is start. If you want to check, okay, now look at the one I just started now. Can you see? I start all of this. So if you want to also organize your client's email, you can look at some important ones like, okay, this one is important, this one is important. Okay, let's say this one is important. This one is important. I want to come back to work on it later. For example, I want to come back to work on it later. I'm just giving an example. Or I must inform my client about this particular email. So now after starting everything, then you come to start, and you're going to see all the ones you start for easy access. So that is part of the organizing of your client's email that we're talking about. Let's say what you're looking for, you can't find it on this first page, then you go down to this part and click on next. You can see it, you can next it 51 to 59. Can you see? So you can always next it and see anything you want to see there. So do you understand to this point? Let me know if you have any questions. There are still some other things you need to do in your client's email, but depending on your client's request, depending on the job role or the job description as at that particular time, depending on the kind of business your client does, depending on how busy your client is. But then I think I've been able to explain some of the things you need to do. So please make sure you drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your questions. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the comments below and I'm going to reply your comments. Now this is spam. Okay, so this is spam, some messages that did not get into the inbox but decided to hide there. So if you're working for your client for a long time, then you must be very mindful of this particular spam, because some important messages can come and land here, and see what they said there. Messages that have been in spam more than 30 days will be automatically deleted, so you don't miss out on important information for your clients. Can you see? So what you need to do is to come here. Okay,
Click on this part. Click on this part. Okay. You can move it. You can move it here. You can move it under here if it's particular to this person. You can move it here. You can move it under social. You can move it under update. You can move it under forum. You can move it under promotion. Let's say we want to move it under promotion now. So let's come here. So now this promotion